This is Leadership Plus. I'm Dave Edwards. I'm watching with great satisfaction how newspapers and magazines are trying to survive nowadays. The traditional sources of subscriptions and advertising, it's no longer a good strategy for most print publications. And if you pay attention to what they're trying to do and how they're trying to evolve, they're beginning to mimic some of the same techniques that nonprofits and public media organizations have used for decades. My local newspaper, for example, no longer asks me to subscribe. When they sent me my annual renewal notice not that long ago, they asked me to become a member. I'm not exactly sure what I'd be a member of, but nonetheless, they didn't use the word subscriber. I was going to become a member. In Madison, Wisconsin, the alternative weekly publication became a nonprofit, so they would have the flexibility to seek grants and voluntary contributions. Mother Jones News asked its readers for contributions. Its CEO had this to say. Monica Bauerlein said, "We are convinced that the traditional models of paying for high-quality public service journalism have already collapsed, aligning both the organization and the audience around the idea that journalism is an essential infrastructure for democracy and that it all has to be supported by small d democratic public that it serves, making it all feel like we're all pulling in the same direction." That's a pretty powerful appeal. But it also makes me wonder why I'm still getting so many fundraising letters from nonprofits that are asking me to contribute to help them make their goal. Why should I be concerned about their goal? Shouldn't I be concerned about the service that they provide me and how I want it to be sustained? A more effective approach is to understand the value that your members get from your service, and then try to explain how their contribution will help you sustain that service. And make sure you use the same language that your donor used to describe that service. That adds more credibility to your ask. And when nonprofits write their fundraising letters, they should consider using the word I instead of we. I hope that you would join me in supporting this organization, as opposed to we hope that you will help support this organization. Make it personal. Use the person's first name. Everybody likes the sound of their name. I mean, if you're sending a letter that says, "Dear member," well, that sounds so generic. What if you say, "Hey, Bob, I really appreciate your past support." And finally, share the passion that your supporter has for the cause. As Bauerlein explains, it's important to align both the audience and the organization in all of your appeals. That's today's Leadership Plus. Hey, thanks very much for joining us. Subscribe, please. Subscribe. You don't even have to be a member, and it's free. Just click the subscription button below. Oh, and if you'd like to read more about management, leadership, and productivity issues, check out my website, daveedwardsmedia.com.